Valerie Tarantolo. And you are?
I'm Helen Brown.
How are you, Miss Brown? And I have to watch because I tend to walk very fast. And what a beautiful portrait! But it is, isn't it? It's beautiful. I mean, it's like someone else.
Yeah,
Not like me.
It is. It's you.
It's exactly how I looked in those days, but it's just like someone totally different. Some young, beautiful creature. I said to Pat, I think why people like it because of the smile, and people want to see smiley things these days because there's so much horror in the world.
Ask you about the smile. Keep it up.
That was, it was hard, but it was enough. Yes, I was 16 working in Boots, the chemist, and this older gentleman came in and looked at me, pointed at me and said, I want to paint you. And I was somewhat nervous because I'd had no idea. But then he said, this was the clincher, I'll pay you 2 and 6 an hour. And of course I had no money, and 2 and 6 an hour was a lot of money in those days. So I said, all right, not realizing how many hours one sits. I can't remember how long, but it went on for weeks and weeks. And you know, you have to sit very still and smile, and he wants you just a certain way. But that's how, but it was really an adventure for a 16-year-old girl that had nothing and never been anywhere, and certainly didn't have 2 and 6 an hour.
How did the dress happen? Did you have that with you, or was that?
No, that was Mr. Cadogan Cowper's, and actually it was all open at the back. Really, it was, and he would drape it over me and pin it up and make it fit my body properly. He might have used it for someone else, I do not know, but that's what he did, and he draped it over my shoulders. Everything, to the holding of the fan, to the way my hands were, and to the draping of the pretty stuff at the shoulder. He did it all. And put the roses there and in my hair.
So the background was that, and how did you get the background?
No, and he told me what he was going to do for the background because of the dress. He wanted the dark and the lilies, the water, and because the dress was so light, he wanted that, and he made that up himself. He didn't, he was very, well, he seemed very pleased with himself that he had done that. I have to tell you that he seemed very happy with the portrait.
Yes.
He did, which I don't know if artists are usually very happy with their portraits, but he was happy with that things.
So he wasn't flirtatious?
Oh no, not at all. Not at all. But actually I wasn't in awe of him, where in those days you were kind of in awe of a gentry.
Yeah.
But he made you feel good. He made you feel, he gave you self-confidence, that's what you would say today, but I didn't realize it then. And he thought, I'm just going to tell you what Mr. Cadogan Cowper said about me. He said I had the most beautiful shoulders. And I'd never even thought about shoulders. You know, we used to be covered up all the time. And I was a little shocked at that. But then afterwards I looked at them and I said, they're pretty good. But he said I had the most beautiful shoulders. But had told me he was going to call it the Ugly Duckling because to him, I was beautiful. I know that sounds terrible today, but he thought I was beautiful. Plus, remember the Merry Widower that was so sad looking? And this was...
that was another of his portraits.
Yes, his portrait, and which was a very sad looking portrait. But this one he loved, and he he said he would call it the Ugly Duckling because it was so beautiful. Mr. Cadogan Cowper did so much for me in self-worth, confidence, and to see myself as a valuable person, which I did not have prior to that.